Coming up on Celtics Today, the NBA Finals are finally here. Which stars will shine the brightest at the Garden tonight? Plus, what Jayson Tatum learned from the Warriors in 2022 that's going to help his team this season. And Celtics Twitter in finals form. Did your post make the cut? Celtics Today starts right now. NBA Finals. Finally. Here we go.
I'm just dancing.
I think everybody in Celtics Nation is feeling like Marc D'Amico right now because the game is today.
Hallelujah.
Game 1 tonight. Celtics Mavericks in the NBA Finals. And thanks for joining us on Celtics Today. Celtics play basketball today. The show Celtics Today.
It only makes sense, right? We had to name it Celtics Today because this is what we're doing for the rest of the NBA Finals. Every home game day, we're going to be coming to you right here from the new Celtics studio at 100 Causeway Street. And tonight, game 1. Cannot wait. We've been waiting, 10 days?
Feels like 100 days,
yeah.
100 years.
1,000?
Honestly. Yeah, but we finally have some basketball. So he's Mark, I'm Drew. Thanks for hanging with us on Celtics Today. A lot of great places to get your Celtics content. So we really appreciate you spending some time with us. And we're thrilled because finally the Celtics play basketball after what feels like forever. We've known this matchup for almost a week. And the big news is all that time off has helped Kristaps Porzingis apparently be ready to go.
Yes, he announced it yesterday at Finals Media Day. He said, I've been waiting. Tomorrow I'm back. And here you see some clips of him at practice working out with the team as he was ramping up, and that's really what the last week or so has been. He's been ramping up to try to get back into as close to playing shape as he can be. Obviously, it's going to be a pretty different circumstance of walking through practice with coaches and playing in the NBA Finals of Game 1 tonight. But regardless, having him back in the lineup, Drew, is definitely going to give this team a boost at both ends.
That's right. We saw him defending in that first clip. I'm saying if you can keep Tony Dobbins in front of you, you can stay in front of Kyrie and Luka.
Yeah, I mean, same. These two things are the same,
yes.
Right? Kyrie and Tony Dobbins.
It was a pretty impressive crossover from our guy, Tony Dobbins. But you're so right about the both ends of the floor, and I think that's the key here. Of course, his spacing on offense. When the Celtics played the Mavs, March 1st was the last time we saw it, and really the only time we saw the Celtics play this Mavs team is currently constructed. KP goes for 10 points in the first 4 minutes, knocks down a couple threes. His spacing is huge, and it's not just that he's a stretch 5. It's that he shoots from 27, 28 feet regularly.
Yep.
So he's going to bring the big man away from the basket. We know about the Mavs, 2 centers who are bouncy, and they protect the rim, and they're always fresh because they platoon them. Kristaps will bring those guys away from the basket, open up those lanes for other guys to slash. And then defensively, with Lively and Gafford trying to catch lobs from Luka and Kyrie,
absolutely,
that's where he's going to be.
Yep, no question. We saw the last couple series, especially the Pacers, they were scoring in the paint almost at will against the Celtics. And we all know that's not the normal defense because Kristaps wasn't out there. So having him back is certainly going to help from that perspective. But then offensively, you talked about spacing. I think about it from the other perspective of unlocking. The Celtics have been great in the clutch without the player they acquired to be great in the clutch. So when they have him back in the lineup, and they're going to be able to put Dallas into a bind on every possession because those big men are going to get switched on to guards, and then those guards are going to get switched on to KP. So that's what unlocks the offense in the clutch. A lot of people aren't talking about that.
And the fact that Kristaps has been out for the last 2 series makes these numbers we're about to show you that much more impressive. Let's give you the team stats for their runs through the playoffs. Dallas comes in as the 5 seed in the West. Really on the borderline of the play-in around the trade deadline. They bring in Daniel Gafford. They bring in P.J. Washington.
First 5 seed ever to make the finals, I think I read somewhere.
Is that true?
It's insane. I'm pretty sure, or maybe they can become the first 5 seed ever to win it.
Yeah.
But regardless, unbelievable that that's the first time that that's ever had an opportunity to happen.
It's an amazing turnaround for them.
Yeah.
And of course it all revolves around Luka Doncic, and we'll get to him in a second. But when you look at these team stats, the points for the Celtics, they're the best offense in NBA history rating-wise during the regular season. That is, of course, translated to the playoffs. And then I think the big difference for the Mavericks, maybe from the team you might remember if you haven't watched them a lot this year, they defend now.
Yeah, absolutely.
They were one of the best defenses in the NBA after they put Daniel Gafford into the starting lineup consistently, which was right after they played the Celtics here at the Garden. And I think Dallas, they're not the team that has, one of the worst records of any finals team ever. They are dangerous.
Yep, no, they are. They can do it at both ends of the court. They've got obviously 2 talented guys on the perimeter, and Luka and Kyrie, who can win games on their own. And here you can see Luka's stats matching up against Jayson Tatum so far in the postseason. Obviously not them playing one-on-one against each other, but just how they've fared so far in the postseason. But we talk about the two teams. Both teams can score. Both teams can defend. But sometimes what happens in the finals is it all comes down to your team's best players. And here's the two best players in this series, one on each side. Luka Doncic, MVP candidate every year. Jayson Tatum, MVP candidate every year. And a lot of people have been talking down on what Tatum has done during this postseason. But if you look at the numbers, he has actually shot better from the field than Luka has during this postseason run. No one is talking about that. And Jayson has been the guy who's been getting talked down on the entire run. So it doesn't make much sense, but here we are with these two players both having an opportunity to really make a statement about what their careers are and where they are right now in their early to mid-20s.
I love the rebounding for JT is really what stood out to me for that stat, because he's in double figures. Of course, we just talked about how the Celtics have been missing their starting center for most of the playoffs. So JT says, I got this. Let me grab some rebounds and we'll start the break ourselves. Luka's obviously incredible. And we're talking about the stars. Both of these teams have really strong number twos, 1Bs, or co-star number one, whatever you want to call it, with Jaylen Brown and Kyrie Irving. Of course, we know Kyrie well here in Boston. But look at the field goal percentage for Jaylen Brown. Here, you talked about how there may be some misconceptions for, Luka versus Tatum. I think if you ask a lot of people who's been better in the postseason, they'd say, Kyrie over Jaylen, no doubt. JB's shooting 54% and he's scoring more than Kyrie.
And he's been doing it every single night. Like, Jaylen has not had an off night. He's been shooting 50+% the entire postseason, and he did it for basically the whole regular season too. So this isn't like a fluky run.
For sure.
Jaylen is in a different place, I think, mentally and physically right now than he has been in the past. He has asserted himself every single series, and that's why you got this guy shooting 55% from the field. But Kyrie, obviously, he's a great player as well. He can take over a game on his own with incredible shot making and ball handling skills. So each team has two guys who can take over and win a game on their own, and we're just going to have to see which of those players does it more consistently in this series. That's my opinion of what this is all going to boil down to.
Kyrie Irving has NBA Finals experience. Most of the Mavericks do not. A lot of the Celtics do, of course. 2022 NBA Finals against Golden State. That's the subject of our next segment, which is small bites. All right, so you might be wondering, why are we doing small bites here? Is it just because it's lunchtime, sort of, or maybe a late lunch, depending on when you're watching us? Small bites, for those inside the industry, we like to call a little clip from an interview a sound bite. Or a press conference, it's a sound bite. So these are small bites.
Small bites. What else appropriately named? Again, first it's Celtics Today, now we got small bites. Let's roll.
Whoever came up with the names of these segments is
genius. Who did that?
I know. Someone in this room. Jayson Tatum talking about his experience from 2022 when the Celtics lost to the Golden State Warriors. Now the Celtics have been here. Here's what JT says they learned from that previous experience.
And I give a lot of credit to that team, to the Warriors. I think, we understood what it took to get there, and, they understood what it took to get over the hump. That was a really special team that didn't make many mistakes, obviously well coached, and they just been there before. And in some of those tough moments, when I go back and look, you can tell that, they had been there before. And it was a lesson to be learned.
These two guys, him and Jaylen Brown, were both asked about this yesterday. What did you guys learn that's going to help you this time around from that 2022 run against the Golden State Warriors? So Jayson talked about it right there. Then I asked Jaylen about it. I followed up and I said, well, Jayson said that he has watched it. How many times have you watched it? He said, I've gone back and I've watched every single game at least 3 or 4 times. Wow. He said, it's all about learning about the mistakes. And we all know they made mistakes during that series. They were up 2-1. The only way the other team comes back is 1 Steph Curry and 2 mistakes. So I am hoping, and I think all of Celtics Nation is hoping, that experience has led them to the place they are today, and they know what not to do in order to win these games and win this series this time around.
And the team is so different in so many ways. Obviously, the most clear way is that the roster is different, and the names are different, and the faces are different, but also those guys are a little bit older. And
experience.
This is the time when it feels like your best players should be winning championships. They're in their mid to late 20s, and this is the timeline.
Yeah, and it feels like just hearing them talk at Celtics or at Celtics Finals Media Day yesterday, hearing them talk at the practices that were leading up to yesterday, they just feel so much more comfortable, not only in their own skin, but in this position. Last time it was the first time all of those guys had been to the finals. now they've got the experience. They know what to expect every single day. They knew what to expect going into yesterday. It's this big hoorah. You were there yesterday. It's a crazy day down at the game court. But they know what to expect every day now, in every before and after every game. And I think that just makes them so much more comfortable heading into this time as opposed to 2 years ago.
They're ready to go. We're all locked in. If you're not locked in, this will be
You got a problem.
Check this out.
We feel like we're a different team than we were last year and the year before that. I think we are ready to put our best foot forward.
Now that matchup is set, Boston, Dallas.
Tatum for three. And the swap. And another block. Wide open. He got it. He dropped Doncic. A dog down. Says that's it.
All right, it's social time, keeping a pulse on Celtics social media. And for that, we're moving over to the cool kids table. Melisa Valdez.
What's
There
up,
she is.
fellas?
This is
game
straight
one.
energy right here. Straight energy.
It's all about the energy. It's all about the excitement. We are in the finals, y'all. Tonight
Where
is
else
gonna
would we
be
want to
great.
be?
And Celtics social media is feeling the finals energy,
It's
right?
so good. I've been digging through social media in the past couple of weeks, days, and seeing what fans are talking about, how they're gearing up for game one. There's a lot of funny things
I can't wait
happening
to
out
see
there.
this.
Let's check out number
Can't
one.
wait to
It is
see this.
social time, y'all. Let's see. Oh my God, we came across this illustration by G Noki on Instagram.
Oh, he is jacked.
And the caption is, your hero in green is ready to slice and dice the finals. I believe that. Look at Jayson Tatum channeling his inner Leonardo from the Ninja Turtle,
Yes.
who's one of the leaders. And he's ready to do his thing tonight. He's jacked up. He's ready to bring the force tonight.
He's jacked up and jacked. I mean, this
Yeah.
looks like
Correct.
real life.
Yes.
He's putting in that work for
Leonardo
sure.
Tatum hit the gym just like our Jayson Tatum did.
That's right.
I think G Noki might have put a couple of LBs on,
Maybe.
on
Hey.
Jayson in like a good way, by the way, in a
That's
good
right.
way.
No, he's going to show up tonight. He's really going to set the tone and bring that force.
Nice job, G Noki. That is a
Yes,
beautiful
that was-
piece of
Gnocchi,
art.
maybe? Do you think it's
It could be
gnocchi,
gnocchi, but I don't think he's Italian.
Gnocchi. Gnocchi.
Yes.
Oh
Well
my God. We can't wait to see what JT brings tonight. Let's check out the next post, of course. And this one was hilarious, y'all, because this is the exact energy that I want to see us bring, okay? After the games, when we get that trophy.
Yes.
We love to see it. This is when we officially beat the Pacers. We see all the guys here doing a little choreography. Drew Holiday is in the front doing his thing, leading the pack.
His faces are so good at this.
I know. How funny
You
is
just
that?
missed it. We were off camera, but I was trying to dance, and it didn't go so well.
Thank God we were off.
Yes,
They got
yes.
the choreo on lock with all the guys, Derek White, Porzingis, Tatum, Brown. And you know that we know that Drew Holiday knows all about the championship. So he's definitely bringing that energy.
And let me just say something. The Boston Celtics are so deep and have so many good players that poor Al Horford doesn't even make it.
He didn't
on
even
the
make the
dance
cut.
floor.
Although,
unfortunate.
I don't know if Al would be dancing like that anyway, so
Hey,
it might
you
have
never-
fit. It
hey,
might have fit.
And on behalf of Al, he is Dominican, so he has a little flavor.
Would he
in
be
him.
doing a little
Let's
salsa?
not count him out
Yeah,
yet.
we
You
win
know.
the championship. We might see Al doing a little
We're gonna
hip
see
roll
the
and
happy
chest
dance.
roll.
We'll see
Okay.
what
Doing a little what? Can
Yeah,
we see
a
that
little-
again? Oh, yeah. That's good. For a dad, that's not
Cut
bad.
that
Oh
out.
my God, let's check out
All
the
right,
last
what's next?
post. This one right here, as we know, we got Porzingis coming back into the game, you guys. He's been sitting out for a while, and we are excited.
And who's this?
The Avengers, you guys.
No,
And
no,
Thanos.
no.
Right over here.
Did you say Avengers?
No.
Wait,
come on,
did I
Mel.
get this wrong?
This is the
again?
Avengers.
Avengers. And this is Thanos. It's okay. Not everyone here has seen the Fantastic
guys-
Have you
movies.
ever seen someone so upset about you
No.
mispronouncing a word?
It's
I have
okay.
to redeem myself. I'm gonna see all the movies next
Yes.
week, and I'll come back and report back, okay?
This is amazing, though. Like, all 5 of the guys come together, and Thanos is just like,
I love it. We cannot wait to see KP bringing back the energy. The gang is back, and we're about to
maybe
do this,
that's
you
what
guys.
KP looks like tonight when he takes the court. Because he's been waiting for, what, almost 4
I
weeks
believe
at this
so.
point?
He's
5
ready.
weeks?
He's ready to show up and show out.
And hopefully it ends a little bit differently for the Celtics than it did for our guy Thanos.
Please,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes. Celtics win. We don't care what happened to Thanos.
Correct. Well, Melissa, good stuff on
Thank
social
you
media.
guys. So
Yeah.
much fun. I'll see you guys at the game tonight.
Yeah,
Let's
we
bring
can't wait to
it.
razz you about your pronunciation.
Oh my God, great. I'm gonna let this- the Avengers. Let's get it.
All right. If you've been on social media, you've probably seen this awesome documentary, All In. Latest episode recently came out. Here's a little taste.
Jaylen, was there any motivation after hearing that you didn't make an All-NBA team?
I mean, we 2 games from the finals, so honestly, I haven't got the time to give.
And Jaylen drops 40 in game 2.
You've listened to the national commentary, right?
Yeah, they get no credit nationally.
They have more questions than answers and more sort of things to pick at than to feel confident about. It's like, I feel like that's almost unanimous.
For various reasons, I feel like I don't get the credit or respect that I have earned. And I'm at the point in my life where I don't give I might never get it, and I'm okay with that. I am who I am. I do what I do, and I believe in what I believe in. So the ones who with me, let's rock and roll, and the ones who aren't, can kiss my ass, pretty much.
So I'm not sure why they had to blank out the word hoot when Jaylen said he doesn't give a hoot.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said.
I think that's exactly what he said. But I love that mentality because it's been happening since Jaylen came into the league, ever since he was a third pick. At this point, who cares?
Who cares? And, first of all, this series is the best storytelling that I have seen. I've been here for 16 seasons. This is the best storytelling I've literally ever seen around the team. And that goes for any channel. So on the Celtics channels, it's awesome. But watching this and watching Jaylen say this stuff, I think just really goes very far to say where he is mentally right now. Like, I think last year, he wouldn't have said that. 2 years ago, he wouldn't have said that. But right now, he's in a place where he literally does not care about anything on the outside. All he cares about is what he thinks and what the Celtics think on the inside of him. So I think that's a great indication of where he is mentally, especially as we go into the finals. Like, that interview happened in this break between the last round and this round. And that's where he is mentally right now, heading into game 1. So I think it's a great indication of where he's going to be going into game 1. And I think it's pretty awesome that he just does not care and doesn't give a hoot.
Yeah, that's right. He said earlier these playoffs, too, that I think he was talking about the All-NBA teams, how he didn't make it.
Yep.
I don't have time to give a hoot.
Yep.
So,
all defensive, too.
All defense, which he really wanted.
Yep.
Guess what? He's got the contract. Maybe he'll have a ring soon. He's got the respect of Celtics fans. What else do you need?
And I'll tell you this. If the Celtics take care of business, it's going to change in this series and win an 18 championship. It's going to change the narrative around all of these guys because it's going to be at a point where you literally cannot deny what they've done. You can deny it now because they haven't gotten over that hump. But if they accomplish this goal, Jaylen's going to be in that conversation. Jayson's going to be in that conversation. Al Horford's going to be a Hall of Famer. Like, the list goes on and on. So we got a lot to look forward to in this series.
A Hall of Famer in our book here on Celtics Today, that would be Taylor Snow. He's joining us for some snow time right after this.
It's time to toast the NBA Finals.
To where legends are made.
Because a new era of greatness is on display. The Dallas Mavericks' dynamic combination of Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic made them the best in the West. The powerful duo of Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown made the mighty Celtics beasts of the East. Two teams giving it their all. Here's to the NBA Finals.
Well, the temperature in the studio hasn't changed at all.
Yes, it has. It dropped 10 degrees.
Just kidding. It's a little chillier in here. You might be able to feel it watching at home as well. It's because it's snow time. And why is it called snow time? Why is it cold in here? As you can see, Mark is now freezing. We got an abominable snowman who just crashed the studio. There he is, Taylor Snow. Hi, buddy.
Hey. Well, thank you for the kind intro. Warmed me up a little bit inside.
Warmed us up. Yes. Every time we see you, it warms our hearts.
Yeah, well, welcome to the coolest portion of the show, literally speaking.
Nice, dude. Nice.
In this segment, we're going to dive into some fun stats and trends as we head into the finals. First one I want to acknowledge is Derek White's assist-to-turnover ratio. It's been pretty good lately.
Yeah.
How good?
I have noticed.
In the last 2 rounds, he has handed out 48 assists, committed only 4 turnovers. Now,
that's great. That's not good.
That is very impressive.
Great.
Little quick math, 12-1.
12-1
turnover.
My man with the math.
Yep, 12-1 ratio over 9 games. He's the first player in NBA history in the playoffs to average at least 5 assists and fewer than 0.5 turnovers over a 9-game stretch.
Oh my God.
Wow.
First ever.
Yep.
First ever.
Pretty good.
That's pretty elite company.
Yes.
And he's only gotten better as the games have gone on. In the last 6 games, 35 assists to 2 turnovers. Last 3 games, 17 assists, 0 turnovers. And the best stat of all, he's committed 0 turnovers in all of his clutch minutes in the playoffs.
That's honestly, like, we need to take a moment and, like, let that sink in. Like, those are nuts numbers.
Yes.
Like, no one does that. No one does that.
Nope, he's been clutch on both ends. And speaking of clutch, the Celtics have been great in the clutch this season. I feel like that needs to be brought up because there's still a few narratives going around. How good are they in the clutch? But the stats prove that they've been great. In the regular season, they were 4th in net rating in the clutch. In the postseason, they've been the best team in the playoffs in the clutch. They're 4-0. Their defensive rating in those minutes is 85.4.
Oh my God.
Ridiculous.
What?
Their net rating is 43.9. So that's...
Folks, plus 43.9?
Yes, per 100 possessions.
Per 100 possessions?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
the Celtics aren't very good in the clutch, are they?
I've heard that.
What are people talking about?
Now, Dallas has been pretty good too. They're 6-3 in clutch games this season, though their net rating is 1.6.
Plus 1 point.
Plus 1.6.
About
Only
42
42 point difference?
Yeah.
Okay.
But in the regular season, they were the 3rd best clutch team. They hit a lot of big clutch shots. Boston makes a lot of big clutch stops. So it should be interesting seeing these two teams going head to head.
Clutch
These guys are
shots versus
These guys
clutch
are right.
stops.
Taylor
Yes.
Snow. No, I mean, I think that's crazy. We got two teams that play well in the clutch. We all know it. Luka can score in the clutch. Kyrie can score in the clutch. The Celtics, as you said, can get stops in the clutch. Like, some of these games are going to come down to the wire, but we cannot ignore all of the information that you just gave us of just how great the Celtics have been in those moments. Like, it's irrefutable evidence.
So make sure you follow him at Taylor Casno on Twitter.
Taylor Casno.
Speaking of clutch, those are some clutch socks you got on right there. She's got the Christmas socks, the snowflakes.
Is it just
perfect for snow time?
Snow.
Yeah, wow.
They're basketballs and snowflakes, basically.
That's my life. That's my life.
What is this, snow time? All right, let's wrap this up. Moving on.
We're feeling warm now, Taylor. Thank you. Sticking with
Nicely
the
done.
we're going to stick with the meteorology here.
Yes.
It's time for tonight's forecast. All right, so now that the frosty snowman, Taylor Snow, is out of the studio, it's much warmer in here. This is tonight's forecast, so it's time to do a little predicting, a little prognosticating. We're going to tell you what we think is going to happen in the game tonight, maybe in the series as a whole.
Absolutely.
Mark, we were both at Media Day yesterday.
Yeah.
What was the scuttlebutt? What was the temperature, if you will, of the general media?
I heard a lot of people saying that they think the Celtics are going to lose this game tonight. And some have even indicated that the Celtics need to lose this game after a long break, that they haven't played games that were important enough, that they're not going to be ready for whatever this is that tonight is as the brightest lights, which Joe Mazzulla wouldn't agree with that, as we heard yesterday. But yeah, I heard a lot of people saying that the Celtics were going to lose this game. I heard I heard some people saying that the Celtics need to lose this game to kind of wake them up to recognize the situation that they're in. I personally don't think that's the case. I think that these guys are locked in. I think they understand the moment, as we've heard from all of these sound bites throughout the day. And I think they're going to come out and play really, really well tonight. Does that guarantee a win? No. But I think they're going to play really, really well.
All right, so all the ridiculous narratives aside about whether they need to lose this game, what do you think is going to happen? You got the C's tonight?
I think it's going to be a great game. Yeah. I think it's going to come down to the final minutes of the fourth quarter, probably the final 6 minutes or so of the fourth quarter. I don't know if it's going to be a one-possession game during the final minute or anything like that, but I think it's going to be very competitive until the second half of the fourth quarter, and I think that the Celtics are going to come out on top with making some very important plays down the stretch, as they have this entire run.
Well, if it is a close game down the stretch, as Taylor just told us, the Celtics are undefeated in the clutch in the playoffs.
Plus 43 or whatever. And
plus a zillion, essentially. It might as well be. It's off the charts. And they were one of the best teams in the regular season in those moments as well.
Can't deny it. You simply cannot deny it. Although many people want to right now.
I know. There's a lot of talk about, they got the best closers. Dallas does. Luka and Kyrie. Well, guess what? The Celtics have some closers as well.
They do.
It's a whole team full of Jonathan Papelbons, baby.
Oh, God.
And with that in mind, enjoy Game 1. Thanks for hanging with us here on Celtics Today. It's good to finally have some basketball back.
Yes. As I said at the start, hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Porzingis is back. The Celtics are back. The finals are here. Enjoy the game. We'll see you at the Garden tonight.
Thanks, folks.